Hello and welcome back to the KBB NR2003 series. Today we're here for race number 1 at Daytona for the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. And so we're about to get things rolling here for the first time in 5 years here in season number 5. And of course we just had the clash last week at Dodge Motorhome. So if you haven't gone and checked out that race yet, go check it out. It was a pretty interesting race to see there at the end. Fox Oaquin went on to win that race. But now we're here for our first points-paying race of the season. And we're getting set to crown another Daytona 500 winner here in the Kelley Blue Book NR 2003 series. So as we'll let that roll, but we'll get into your starting lineup here. So if you haven't looked at the Instagram page, I did post the full starting lineup for this race. We'll go ahead and go through them today. So if we get a good camera angle here. Here we go, TV2. So it's an all-rookie front row. Starting on the pole, we have Dylan Kudrow. Right beside him is Anthony Foster. Row number 2, we see Donovan David in the 04 with Wilson Hunt in the 86. Row number 3, Rich Roy, another rookie, with Justin Rott beside him. Row number 4, Travis Van Oostendorf with Julian Lozano. Rounding out your top 10, we have Jonathan Maynard and Matthew Covington. Started back here just outside the top 10 and 11th is your Clash winner Fox Oaquin. Right beside him is Michael Scout. Row number 12 is Justin Murray and Carlos Quiros. Row 13 is Trey Grooms and a former Daytona 500 winner Andrew Francie. Row 14, Devin Gardner with Aaron Woods Jr. Row 15, Brendan Gonzalez with Dylan Thomas. Row 16, Mark Sherrill with Gabe Cazola. Row 17 is Scout Collins with Daniel Sels. Row 18, you see that is one of the Binghams. Yeah, that's Simon Bingham with AJ Ludums. Row number 19 is Branson Grooms with the 45 of David Garcia. And row 20 back here is two former Daytona 500 winners in this series. That's Evan Nelson and Andrew Cahill. Baker Mayfield and Jack Nelson, row number 21. Row number 22 is Luna Bennington with Jake Scarborough. Row 23, we see Braden Sisko and Nick Bingham. Row 24 is Wolfgang Suarez and Nick Scaccio. And rounding out your field all the way back here is Mike Pitt and Caleb Kerr. So there's your entry list for the Daytona 500. 60 laps around this racetrack. You will not have to pit. The cars are coded to where they don't have to pit because usually at these plate tracks on this game, pit stops usually spread apart the field and then the race just kind of gets boring from there. So they shouldn't have to pit these next 60 laps. But we'll go ahead and get these cars rolling. Just a little bit of acceleration here. Make sure everybody gets off the field, gets onto the track without DNFing. Of course, one pace lap around the Super Speedway race. Of course, just made a post earlier today on the Instagram saying how the pole sitter at all the Daytona events in this league has never gone on to win the race. So we'll see if Kudrow can do that tonight in that 64 machine and be the first rookie to win this season. A lot of rookies in this season. I'm pretty sure there's 17 of them to be exact. So there's going to be a big rookie of the year battle. And of course, the playoffs is just, I'm going by 2011 points, but there's no chase. So it's just straightforward points. So we're going to see how that does. All 40 cars down the back straightaway, though, getting ready to start this event. I did turn up the engine sounds just a little bit more, hopefully, because they were pretty quiet last stream during the clash. So hopefully that will help a little bit out. But then again, the camera angles here at Daytona are pretty far away, so it might not work out as well as I hope. But once we get into race 2, I believe at Las Vegas, hopefully you'll be able to hear the cars a little bit better. But here we go, 5 long years since Season 4 ended prematurely. And we're about to start Season 5 here at the Great American Race to crown another Daytona 500 champion here in the KBB NR2003 series. Dylan Kudroff with Anthony Foss on the front row as they enter the restart zone. Green flag in the air here at Daytona. We got a car pitting in the back. That's Brandon Gonzalez having some issues. They might spread the field in two here. So you see Rich Roy, he's going 3 wide for the race lead underneath Donovan David and Dylan Kudroff. So that 14 already quickly to the race lead. And yes, that did split the field in half, so we'll see if the second pack can now catch up. Don't know what's going on with that 87, but already having some issues here at Daytona. They're almost 4 wide back here. Jonathan Maynard trying to get underneath Travis Van Oostendorp. This is going to be very sketchy here. 4 wide usually doesn't work. And right now your pole sitter's in a very dangerous situation here, but he's going to tuck back in line right behind Donovan David as David tries to take the lead away from Rich Roy once again. Looks like that 14 is going to lead that lap. Gonzalez is coming back out on the racetrack right in front of the leaders. So I don't know what happens to that 87, but he's right up here. He's going to definitely be in the way as a lap car. And of course, this is 2003 rules, so there's no lucky dogs right now unless I can get better cautions to work. But he's going to get out of the way. Almost made contact there with Justin Murray and few cars have to check up there. That's the 10 and the 1. So now they're going to probably split apart into that second pack. So now this front pack is just all kinds of out of sort. So you see Maynard goes to the race lead. Fox O'Quinn right behind him. These guys getting really racy up front already. You see 3x3, few rows deep. As Travis Van Oostendorp tries to get underneath all these guys to pass him. 3 wide usually works well here. Out of all the test races, 3 wide has worked pretty good. It's when they go 4 wide is when all chaos breaks loose. So we'll see what happens here. As right now that 29, Fox Oakland in the lead. Maynard is clear behind him, and then they're 3x3, a few rows deep for third. As that second pack really not closing in right now. As that top 2 is pulling away, they're side drafting each other for third. It's helping this 40 and 29 pull away. So they're going to have to figure it out back here. There you see Wilson Hunt 3 wide underneath. The 5 and 14, Julian Lozano right behind him. And now he's going to clear, but that might allow that 54 to close in. As the top 2 just pulling away right now. But now Wilson Hunt is clear, so he's going to try to get back up there to that lead pack. As they're all just trying to get single file, trying to figure out which positions they can fit into. Devin Garner trying to get underneath that 54 now. Look at that pack behind them. 3x3 back here. If they can get single file, they can maybe catch up and close into that front pack. But right now, that's not happening. As all these guys just kind of stuck in a gridlock right now. Meanwhile, back up front, Wilson Hunt making a move for second on Jonathan Maynard. Wilson Hunt, second season, has never won. course, Fox Oakland, that 40, they've been in victory lane, same for Julian Lozano. And then you got two rookies behind this 86, Devin Gardner, and that 44, Rich Roy, and that 14. Even more rookies behind, Travis Van Oostendort in the 5, and Anthony Foss in the 33. As now here comes Devin Gardner to the inside, trying to look for second place on Wilson Hunt, as Fox Oakland continues lead. As these guys are, they just keep gapping that second pack. It looks like about 15 cars in this lead pack right now, and then 5 seconds back is Luna Bennington, who's leading that second pack. As Wilson Hunt here, he comes for the race lead on Fox Oakland, help from Devin Gardner. As Jonathan's trying to push Oakland back up to the race lead. It's just not enough right now. But they actually have a nice run now to the outside of that 86. And now Devin Gardner, he's looking 3 wide underneath Wilson Hunt and Fox Oakland. Trying to take that lead away, help from Donovan David. Getting very tight, almost during that 86. As they're wrecking behind in that second pack, Baker Mayfield around. There's both Scout Collins and Michael Scout. Evan Nelson, one-year Daytona 500 winners. He's involved in this wreck. AJ Littums also there in the 61. I saw a few more cars. Caleb Kerr has got some damage on that 68. They're going to race it back as the caution's going to come out for the first time here. They're going to have to get single file here. We'll go back and take a look at what happened to that second pack and how they started to come apart back there. Here at Daytona, it's going to be hard to get camera angles, but we'll try to figure it out. So we saw the 15. He was around first. We'll go to helicopter cam. Try to figure this out. Damn it. Sorry, I forgot the one button is my reset button again. I'm going to have to change that next stream, but watch Baker Mayfield here in that 15. Yeah, you see the 4 wide Caleb Kerr in the middle. And then they just kind of squeeze together and everybody goes up to that wall. Somehow that 49 got out pretty unscathed. Brandon Gonzalez there gets collected at the end. I want to go on board with this 49. See what he saw. I think he made a little bit of contact with his front end, but other than that, it was pretty good. Daniel Sills. Nice wreck avoidance by that 49. The first caution of the night involves a whole bunch of drivers here towards the middle of the pack. Multiple cars go around. We have to do that. So there you see all the damaged cars coming down pit lane. A few of them staying out. Scout Collins. A little bit of front end damage. AJ, you see the scrapes on the side. Baker Mayfield, he's probably got the most damage here as Evan Nelson's out and away. He can still continue. Caleb Kerr as well. As I believe we just... a few cars retired. I think Baker Mayfield, no, he's out and away. Doesn't really have a back bumper, so he might be off pace. As you see the back end of that thing just gone. It looks like everybody else is still in this race. Of course, Brandon Gonzalez, he would have been lucky dog if this was actually current rules, but since it's 2003 rules, he's just kind of stuck, but he'll be lining up on the inside. trying to fight to get back on that lead lap. So we'll skip ahead a little bit here. Of course, single file restarts too. So no one DNF'd from that, but we'll see if anybody's off pace in the back. There you see Brandon Gonzalez. He's going to try to fight for the lucky dog here. He just has to stay in front of the leaders just in case we do get a caution again. But that might not happen with all these drivers being single file right now. But here we go again. It's going to be Devin Gardner leading with Wilson Hunt, Donovan David, Fox Oakland, Rich Roy. That's your top 5. Brandon Gonzalez might play a factor here for this race leader, as now they're side by side. But the pace car is going to go back down pit lane as we're going to resume things here at Daytona. Once again, Devin Gardner leads us back to the green. Devin Gardner clears the lap car. There you see Donovan David. He wants nothing to do with that 87.3 wide underneath him. So he's trying to go for second on Wilson Hunt. Now that 87 might be a little bit off pace. He was involved in that wreck a little bit. Plus he had those earlier issues where he had a pit on lap number 1. So he might be off pace, and that's might be holding up that whole outside lane. And there you see Rich Roy, everybody passing on that inside. So these cars on the outside going to have to figure out a way past this 87 quickly. There you see Jonathan going 3 wide to the outside. Didn't really work. 2 cars up here, Fox Oakland, Jonathan Minard. Both were fast up there leading this race, and now stuck behind this lap car right now, who is a little bit off pace. But Devin Gardner still leads. Wilson Hunt second. Donovan David third. Trey Grooms has found himself into the top 5 in that 22. As Hunt thought about making a move there, heading into the corner, but decides to stay behind that 44. He better want to hurry, because there you see Donovan David. He's going to make the move to the inside. Help from Rich Roy and Trey Grooms. And now Rich Roy is going to go 3 wide for second. He wants to take second to try to catch that 44. Trey Grooms to help. Anthony Foss there as well. Matthew Covington. All of them working together trying to pass this 04 and 86. As right now that's helping Devin Gardner pull away. They're stuck side by side for second. So they're all just kind of side drafting each other. Trey Grooms now going 3 wide, trying to take second. Foss there to help behind him. And Anthony Foss might be looking 4 wide, which could be catastrophic, but it looks like he backs out. They're getting really racy up front here now. Everybody trying to catch that 44, but they're kind of just all stuck side by side for second. Now Trey Grooms clears, but we'll see if Anthony Foss makes the move underneath him. Not yet, so that 22 is going to try to push up there to catch the 4. Trey Grooms has a few wins here in KBB. Of course, brothers with Branson Grooms. One of 2 brothers in this one of 2 sets of brothers here in this league. Of course, the other one being Simon and Nick Bingham. And then actually Jack Nelson and Evan Nelson are here too. I believe they're brothers. So a few siblings here in the KBB NR2003 series. But Trey Grooms has a run on that 44 if he wants to try to make the move. Of course, rocking that 2013-2014 Jimmy Johnson Lowe's scheme. His brother Branson Grooms also rocking a Jimmy Johnson Lowe's paint scheme, as they've both been sponsored by Lowe's pretty much their whole careers here in the Kelly Blue Book NR2003 series. Of course, Branson Grooms has been here for a season longer. Branson has been here for all 5 seasons. Trey, I believe, has been here for 4 or 3. As it looks like we had another split with the pack. I think Brandon Gonzalez might have held these guys up. There you see the 40. He got stuck all the way back here. And then there's a few slow cars off base. Evan Nelson, Caleb Kerr, AJ Littums, Baker Mayfield, Scout Collins. And then Michael Scout is on pit lane. He might be done for the day in that one. Single file for the top 5. And then they're 3 wide for 6th. That's the one. Mike Pitt making the move underneath. Now here we go for the race lead. That's Trey Grooms in the 22 trying to pass Devin Gardner. Lozano to help. Justin Rott to help that 44 as well. It looks like Devin's just trying to push ahead, not for long, as that inside lane kind of gets formed up a little bit better. Justin Rott has a car length from Devin Gardner. That's not helping that 44 at all. This might help Trey Grooms get to the race lead. No help on that outside lane. That's going to help the 22 of Trey Grooms take it from Devin Gardner. Lozano trying to get underneath him now. Anthony Foss there as well. They're both going to follow each other for right now. Anthony Foss might be looking to make the move underneath that 54 as Julian Lozano goes up to the track. Trey Grooms is going to block it down the back straightaway. That's going to help that 33 pass that 54, or at least get to his inside for right now. A lot of cars gridlocked on that inside lane right now. There's Gabe Gazzola, David Garcia, both up here as well, making their first appearances. Of course, Gabe Gazzola, the most recent points paying winner here in the Kelley Blue Book NR2003 series, all the way 5 years ago back at Pocono. So he's held that crown for a little while now, but now it's time to crown a new winner here, unless he gets back to victory lane at 18. Mike Pitt making it 3 wide underneath, a multi-time winner here in the Kelley Blue Book Cup Series, but it looks like he's going to get left right now. Nobody going with that 9. And now here comes David Garcia to the inside. Gabe Gazzola gets shuffled through to the middle as Anthony Foss trying to take second from Julian Lozano. Still a lot of laps left in this race. They're almost 4 wide in the back, which is going to be a scary situation, especially here up front, as they're going to have to get out of this quickly. We saw 4 wide cause a wreck earlier, and they're 4 wide right now. This could be big. Devin Gardner is going to just back out of it on that outside lane. Give Gabe Gazzola some room. Oh, Mike Pitt and David Garcia all the way to the inside. They make contact. They're going to try to blend back in. Look out, look out. This is going to be tight here. It's still going to be tight as they're all probably going to wreck. Yep, here we go. Mike Pitt and David Garcia. There goes the field. Multiple cars involved. Oh, Matthew Covington hard into that outside wall. It's the big one we've all feared. Mike Pitt, Matthew Covington, he took a hit to that outside wall. There's Simon, or that's Simon Bingham. All kinds of damage to that 92. Jack Nelson, lots of damage to that 19. Luna Bennington, Mark Sherrill, Branson Grooms. Andrew Francie will not be able to go back-to-back here at Daytona and win the 500. A lot of damage to that 34. That was just a product of 4 wide. And there you see Matthew Covington. He took a shot into that outside wall. Mike Pitt, all kinds of damage. We'll go back and take a look at the replay. Hear my mouse clicking. It all started back here. Damn it. I'm gonna have to change that one. Well, we might not use the replay cam today because every time I press 1 it just goes to live cam. But it started all the way back here on the backstretch. I thought they were going to be clear, but then David Garcia, Mike Pitt, they make contact and they saved it, but then coming back up onto the racetrack there just wasn't enough room. Almost 5 wide, and then Garcia gets into the side of Mike Pitt again, entering 3, and up into the track they all go. Jack Nelson, Luna Bennington, nowhere to go. There's Covington taking that big hit. Andrew Francie, there he is. Mark Sherrill. Luckily, no one else got involved. We'll watch the 75 again. We'll go on board with him too. As he just gets hit by Mark Sherrill there, and then heavy impact, and then another impact there by Simon Bingham. Carlos Queiroz involved as well. Wilson Hunt. Wilson Hunt almost got taken out there by the 40. Right on board with the 75, who almost made it through and then got clipped at the end. Right on board with Aaron Woods Jr., who somehow made it through this, but almost got collected after the 9 and 45 came back up the racetrack. So the big one strikes here just on lap 21, not even halfway through this race yet. It's going to take out a lot of cars from contention. Dylan Thomas doesn't have a hood. Same for Jake Scarborough. I didn't really see them in the wreck. I'm not sure what happened to that 77 and 12. I kind of want to go back and see. Maybe they stacked up somewhere. Oh, I was on... No? Yeah, they definitely stacked up here. Sometimes the AI get very stupid and... yeah, they kind of just stack up into each other, back into Travis Van Oostendorp, and then back into that 12 of Dylan Thomas. That's probably going to kill their races. Can't really control that. The AI are just stupid sometimes. But DNFing out of the race so far, that's going to put, of course, Michael Scout in that first incident. He was the first retiree. Simon Bingham, that 92. Matthew Covington, we saw him take that hard hit into the outside wall. He's out of this race. Jack Nelson, also out of this race. Andrew Francie, your most recent Daytona 500 winner, is not going to be able to go back-to-back here, as he's also going to be out of this race. And then you got all these damaged cars. Mike Pitt, Mark Sherrill, Luna Bennington. A lot of damaged cars back here, and probably going to be a lot of cars off pace as well. We'll go back. Gonna go back green here. Brandon Gonzalez is still a lap down, so he's still going to be in the way. If I can figure out a way to get better cautions to work, I'll try to figure that out. I think that'll actually give us lucky dogs. I think that's actually going to give us lucky dogs and then double file restarts, which might cause too much mayhem, but we'll see. Oh no, the 14 of Rich Roy is blowing up. Oh, he was having a good race too in that 14. Unfortunate for the rookie, but he's going to have to come down pit lane right behind the pace car. As we go back green here, it's Trey Grooms leading us. So just about 5 laps from halfway through this race. There you see drivers make their moves. That 87 is still off pace though, so they're going to have to be careful being behind him. So you see he's blocking that inside lane. That's going to help Anthony Foss, Gabe Gazzola, Justin Rott, everybody on that outside lane to pass. Meanwhile, this inside lane kind of stuck unless Gabe Gazzola can't fit his nose in there. But they're going to go 3 wide. As now he's going to go up and block Justin Rott and be in the way of that 76. And nowhere for Rott to go as he's stuck 3 wide right now. But here we go, battle for the race lead. Julian Lozano underneath Trey Grooms. Help from Anthony Foss, Gabe Gazzola there as well. And right now it's a 4-car breakaway, but I'm pretty sure that second pack, once they get around that 87, they should be able to get back up here. But now here comes Anthony Foss trying to go for the lead. That 33-year outside pole sitter, looking to become the first rookie to win here in Season 5. As here comes the back. That's your pole sitter, Dylan Kudroff. And that's 64. He thought about going 3 wide on Cazzola there, but he decides to hang in line. But that's going to allow Fox Oakland to make the move on that 64. And now Trey Grooms is forced 3 wide on that outside lane. The 16 of Nick Scaccio making his first appearance up here. He started in the back in that 16 orange Home Depot car. By now trying to get up here and battle for this race win. We still have more than half this race left, so anything can happen. These guys are still getting racy. That's Fox Oakland going for the race lead. Looking to start this season on a high note, winning the Daytona 500. Of course, your Season 2 champion, your Clash winner just a week ago, and a multi-time winner in this series. Right now, they're 3 wide behind, so that's not going to help anyone past this 29. He's just kind of controlling all the lanes right now. As right now, it looks like just a 15-car breakaway once again, with just a few cars hanging on by a thread. That's Braden Sisko, the first one, that white car. Justin Murray behind him. And then Evan Nelson, Justin Rott, they're both back there as well. But now Rott's making a move on that 4, which is kind of a strange. Right now, Fox Oakland currently pulling away, but now Devin Gardner has cleared the rest of the field, so he's going to try to get up there and pass that 29. We saw that 44. He was pretty quick, leading some laps earlier before that caution came out. So he's trying to get back up here and lead once again. He's got a nice run on Fox Oakland. We'll see if he tries to make the move. It doesn't look like he will. So you come on to lap number 30 here. And now here comes Devin Garner to the inside in that 44, trying to take the lead away. Nick Scaccio. Him and Trey Grooms are both clear. Now Grooms underneath him, trying to pass for third. That 22 also seems to be pretty quick tonight. There's your last season's champion, Andrew Cahill, and that 8. Looking to get up here and get into the mix. He is a former Daytona 500 winner, winning it back in Season 2. But Fox Oakland going back for that race lead. Here he comes to the inside. As it looks like we got about a 20... Not a 20, but an 18 car back, unless they can't figure it out back here. 3 wide, just hanging on by the thread. That's Travis Van Oostendort, the 5, Justin Murray, 88, and Justin Rott in the 76. They got to figure it out, go single file if they want to stay with this lead pack. Of course, that 5's got a little bit of damage after getting run into under caution, but he still looks like he's still fast. Just a little bit of back end damage. But Justin Rott wants to get around him. Fox Oakland still trying to make that move underneath Devin Gardner for this race lead. As now, if we don't have a caution, they'll definitely catch all those slower cars who are damaged, so it's just going to be trying to navigate through them. So you see Jake Scarborough and Dylan Thomas both without a front end. They're battling side by side down the back straightaway. Mark Sherrill, Scout Collins, Baker Mayfield, and the rest of these guys just all with damage. Just trying to cruise around and get the best finish possible. But Fox Oakland, he's going to take the race lead away. Trey Grooms now looking underneath as Fox goes to the outside. We'll take a look at your fastest lap. It right now belongs to that 29 with a 46.641. So yeah, that 29 of Fox Oakland going to be pretty quick tonight. He was quick last week at the Clash. So they brought a good Super Speedway car tonight. But Trey Grooms, that 22, also seems to be very quick. Oh no. Here we go, almost 4 wide again. Gabe Gazzola tried to look underneath Donovan David there, but it looks like he's going to back out a little bit. Hopefully not cause anything here. But now that 04 has a nice run. He's going to maybe look to the inside of Trey Grooms, as now he really can't because that 40 has gotten to his outside. So all these cars really bunched up right now. As we'll see if David, yes, he's going to be able to peek his nose underneath there. So we are 3 wide for the race lead. Donovan David picked up his first career win last season at Pocono, the first Pocono race. And then the other Pocono winner that season, also picking up his first career win, is right behind him, pushing him, Gabe Gazzola. So the 2 Pocono winners from last season currently running that inside lane and trying to help each other get up here to this race lead. I think Gabe Gazzola kind of wants to go for more, though. He's trying to push that 04 maybe up the racetrack, go 4 wide for the race lead. Here comes Gabe once again, but the 04 is going to block him. But that's allowed Trey Grooms to clear for the race lead, so put that 22 up front. Help from Jonathan Maynard. As Fox Oakland kind of falls back a little bit. Travis Van Oostendorp, Justin Murray just barely hanging on, but I think Justin Murray might be out of the lead draft. As they're catching up very quickly to these 2 cars side by side. That's Jake Scarborough and Dylan Thomas. Both heavy damage, both off pace. That's 3 wide for second. That's allowing Trey Grooms to pull away, but now they're back to 2. Gabe Gazzola and Nick Bingham on that inside. Fox Oakland there as well. As yeah, this is going to get interesting once they catch these 2 slower cars up here. Of Jake Scarborough and Dylan Thomas. As I think someone's having an issue back here. Yeah, it's the 04 of Donovan David. Something's gone amiss on that 04 car, and he is very off pace now and just held up half the field there. We're going to see if this might bring out a caution. I don't think he's going to make it back all the way. Maybe a fuel pump issue for that 04. We'll see if this is going to bring out the caution. We'll go back up front until then. As that you see, they caught those slower cars. And that's going to help that pack that got stuck behind the 04 kind of catch up here. As they're still stuck behind Dylan Thomas and Jake Scarborough. As the caution is out for the 04 though. So something goes to miss on that 04 of Donovan David. And he's going to have to retire the car. As we'll see if that 77 looks like he stayed on the lead lap. We'll see if that 12. He might have been lapped. Actually, it looks like he's going to try to get around here. So he did not go a lap down. I think there is a way I can black flag and maybe retire these cars, but I'm not sure. I don't really want to like type anything into the chat and have the whole thing explode. So where's this? Maybe I'll figure it out next stream, because this happens a lot. Damaged cars just staying out. But I don't think anything's going to happen underneath this caution. They shouldn't pit. I mean, if they do, it's not really going to matter. They're still all going to be up here. At least those 2 slow cars won't be in the way. It's just going to be Brendan Gonzalez. Mike Pitt also retired. Yeah, Mike Pitt also retired. But we'll just skip ahead a little bit here until we take the green. Looks like we'll be restarting with 20 laps to go. So they'll definitely probably catch those 2 lap cars by the time they come around once again. But now it's just trying to get around that 87 of Brandon Gonzalez, who's been pretty slow. So here we go once again. We'll be restarting with 20 laps to go here in the Daytona 500. It's been a pretty chaotic race, probably our most chaotic race so far. Not in Daytona history, but definitely Daytona 500 history in the league. So we'll see how fast these guys can get around that 87 of Brandon Gonzalez. As, oh, Gabe Cazola. He's peeling down pit road. He's got some sort of issue in that 18 from second place. So now he's going to follow the pace car down pit road. That's going to allow Fox Oakland to jump to second. That's going to be Trey Grooms taking us back to the green flag with 20 laps to go here. So something to miss on that 18 as well. A lot of mechanical issues going on tonight, as it looks like he's just completely retired. He's off the racetrack. Here comes Fox Oakland to the inside, trying to pass Trey Grooms. As Devin Gardner, Justin Rott, all stuck behind that 87. They're going to have to figure out a way past him quickly. Aaron Woods, Nick Bingham to that outside. Daniel Sales as there as well. But now that 87 is going to go up and block. Aaron Woods making the move to the inside for third, as they're still side by side for the race lead. And it looks like Fox Oakland's going to take it. That 87's just causing havoc back here, as they're all trying to figure out a way around him. Trey Grooms going back to the race lead. Oh, Fox Oakland's going to block it. Maybe not enough, though. Aaron Woods to push that 22. As Devin Garner, he's got a huge run on this field in that 44. Aaron Woods is going to block it and get a push from him now. Here comes that 78. Aaron Woods up to second. Devin Gardner, though, help from Justin Rott. He's going to look underneath for second in that 44. As look at Lozano going 3 wide on Rott and Grooms. Trying to get up there and race for the lead once again. Devin Gardner on the back bumper of the 29. These two up front, along with that 22, have probably been our 3 fastest cars tonight. We'll see if anyone can spoil their parties, though, as you see Justin Rott all by himself in the middle. No one helping that 76. Gardner looking to the inside of Fox Oakland, trying to take that race lead away as Lozano gets clear from that field behind. Now he's got Nick Bingham to push. He goes to the outside. Maybe help from Justin Rott. As they're side by side for the race lead. Look at Nick Scaccio. 3 wide for 4th underneath Nick Bingham and Justin Rott. Trey Grooms down to help. As Lozano has a nice run on these two. He's going to push the 44, try to push him clear. So Devin Gardner to the race lead now. We'll see if Julian makes the move underneath him. If he can get him clear. Here he comes to the inside. Can he get there in time for the corner? It looks like he will, maybe. Yes, he will. So now Lozano underneath for the race lead, but has no help. Here comes Trey Grooms to save the day. Looks like this is about all the cars we're going to get towards the end of this event. The outside lane prevails a lot better as Fox Oakland, big push down the back straightaway. There's Trey Grooms going 3 wide for 3rd. Oakland looking underneath. Devin Gardner trying to make the move for the lead. 16 laps to go this time by. Anything can still happen, especially with these lap cars all back here. They might catch him by the end of this race, and that might play a factor. Of course, if Akasha comes out with like 2 or 3 laps to go, that will end the race. But Gardner up into the race lead. Fox Oakland 2nd. Trey Grooms clears for 3rd. Nick Bingham there as well. They're all going to try to get lined up to catch these 2 leaders, and it's going to help down that Fox Oakland's making the move for the race lead. Here he comes to the inside of Devin Gardner. You got a lot of veterans up here who have won multiple times. You got a lot of rookies up here who are making their first career starts. It's going to be interesting seeing who comes out on top in the next 15 laps. As it looks like just about a 13-car lead pack after all the chaos. 2 cars back here trying to hold on. That's Anthony Foss and Evan Nelson. Nelson does have damage, so we'll see if he can hold on now that he's last in this pack. Justin Murray also with damage, but here we go. Some cars fanning out, making moves. Aaron Woods looking to the inside, help from teammate Justin Rott. Nick Bingham, who started in the back, he's up to third. Looking to play spoiler here tonight. So come to 14 laps to go this time by. Single file for the top three. Looks like they've just kind of calmed down a little bit. Maybe waiting till the end of this race to make their moves. But side by side back here for fourth. Aaron Woods Jr. trying to pass Devin Gardner. As Gardner, that 44, no help on that outside lane right now. Nick Bingham with a run. He's trying to get second place now. Underneath Trey Grooms, Devin Gardner is going to clear that 78. He's going to go low as well, trying to push that 93. Nick Bingham really hasn't been up here, so Devin Gardner doesn't really know how he's going to act, if he's even fast enough to keep up with these guys. Fox Oakwind, though, he's pulling out to a nice lead. Might be a sitting duck here soon once one of these guys gets clear. Devin Gardner might be looking 3 wide underneath Nick. Yes, he does. Here comes that 44 once again. Trey Groom's going to have to tuck in behind the 93 of Nick Bingham. They're about 3 wide behind. Evan Nelson could not keep up with this pack, so he's falling off. This is allowing Fox Oakwind to keep that race lead. And now it's a 4-car pack right here once they catch him. And they'll definitely catch him by the end of this race. So it's just going to be who can navigate through the lap traffic the best. Unless they're side by side like this, that's going to be tricky. But we got 12 laps to go here at Daytona. And right now, these two at the front have been switching the lead back and forth multiple times this run. And they're definitely the 2 fastest tonight. Fox Oakwind going to try to hold off this rookie. But we could see someone play spoiler. We got Julian Lozano in third. Nick Scaccio coming up to fourth. Justin Rod up here. Nick Bingham. Aaron Woods Jr. A lot of cars still in contention to win this race. And a lot of them looking for their first career wins as rookies. But they come out of the corner, coming to 11 laps to go. Lozano making the move for second. Couldn't quite get underneath that 44. No help right now for these top 3. But now Nick Scaccio and Justin Rott have cleared the rest of the field. Look at Devin Gardner. He's making the move for that race lead. And now that 16 with a big run. He's going to go underneath Lozano. Going to help fellow rookie Devin Gardner in that 44. Justin Rod up here as well. Former Daytona 500 winner back in Season 3. He can win it again as they come to 10 laps to go this time by. Very slow up front here. Of course, most of these drivers really have not pitted this race. They shouldn't have to pit. I know they shouldn't pit because I did 70 lap runs and they didn't pit. This is only a 60 lap race. But side by side for the race lead, as there's going to be 5 cars up here now in that pack. Trey Grooms with a big move underneath Nick Scaccio. Trying to take fourth away. Anthony Foss back up here. Jonathan Minard. Justin Murray just barely hanging on to that 88 with that damage. Still side by side for the race lead. Fox Oakwind try to clear there, but Devin Gardner still to his inside, as these two have just been controlling this whole run so far. Nobody has really been able to pass both of them. But here comes Trey Grooms looking 3 wide. But he's not going to have any help down low. He might still be able to fit his nose in there. And he will. Help from Anthony Foss behind. Now they're 3 by 3. They're getting racy up here before they catch these lap cars. Where does Anthony Foss go? He might look 4 here. He's looking, he's peeking, but it's not going to scare that 22 up. Still 3 wide for the race lead. Devin Gardner right now clearing ahead. He's cleared the 29. So Fox Oakland's going to be stuck on that outside lane. Trey Grooms still underneath, but I think that 44 might hold on to the race lead. Yes, there were a few big ones, actually. Trey Grooms trying to take the lead away. Help from Anthony Foss. Devin Gardner, he's got Aaron Jones Jr. or Aaron Woods Jr. behind him. As they're coming up to these lap damaged cars. So we'll see who's going to be able to get around them quickly as they've kind of gone single file a little bit. So here comes the field. Look how much faster they are compared to those cars. A huge mile per hour difference. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tight. Where does Devin Gardner go? He's going to get blocked by the lap cars. Now they're going to go low and block that 33. Where are these guys going to go? The AI is being stupid here. That's going to allow the 33 of Anthony Foss to maybe get underneath that 12, and it will. So that's going to push that 33 up to the race lead if he can get in front of the 77 as well. Yes, he will. All of the fast cars just got stuck up top behind the 12 of Dylan Thomas and the 77 of Jake Scarborough. Anthony Foss to the race lead now. Jonathan Maynard there as well. Julian Lozano. Now they're all getting blocked as they're side by side in front of them. But they're side by side for the race lead too. Anthony Foss currently stuck on that outside right behind the 98 as Jonathan Maynard to the race lead. Julian Lozano behind him. Last season champion Andrew Cahill right behind them as well as they pass Baker Mayfield with 6 laps to go. Wilson Hunt, the last lap car they got to get around before they catch Mark Sherrill as Lozano makes the move underneath. Can he get underneath that 86 as well? It doesn't look like. Yes, he will. Here comes Julian Lozano. Lozano to the race lead. He's got last season's champion behind him, though, and a former Daytona 500 winner in that 8. So he knows how to win here. We'll see if he can get up there and pass that 54, but they still have more lap traffic to deal with. Wolfgang Suarez trying to pass Braden Cisco for 3rd. Couldn't quite get there as Jonathan's still stuck behind that 86. Andrew Cahill trying to pass Lozano for that lead. Braden Cisco, big move to the inside. Here he comes underneath for 2nd. 5 laps to go here at Daytona. Devin Gardner all the way back here now. He might be out of this lead draft. Same for Aaron Woods. And possibly Anthony Foss too. As they come up to a slow car, Mark Sherrill. Lozano's going to get underneath him, so he's going to block that outside lane with that big run. Braden Cisco now has a chance at this. So does Justin Rott, your Season 3 Daytona 500 winner. He's going to have to push that 36. Never mind, he wants to go for it himself. Fox Oakland and Trey Grooms, they're making their way back through the field. They've been 2 of the faster cars tonight. They got 1 more lap car. That's David Garcia. They're going to have to navigate around. 4 laps to go. And if a caution comes out now, that will most likely end the race. Nick Scaccio looking to the inside of Justin Rott. Trey Grooms there as well. Rott has help from Fox Oakland, but now Nick Scaccio is going to go up there and get a push from them as well. Jonathan Maynard and Trey Grooms on that inside lane. Right now, Lozano has the lead, but we'll see for how long. He's going to quickly get around that 45, and that 45 is going to block that outside lane. Oh, he might have blocked both lanes. Slows up Trey Grooms a little bit, so now these guys are going to have to get single file to catch Lozano if they want a chance to win. Right now, that 54 is a sitting duck, but we'll see if they can get single file to catch him fast enough. So we have 3 laps to go. It is led by Trey Grooms. He's been one of our faster cars tonight. So has that 40. Yeah, they're quickly catching that 54 of Julian Lozano. It's just who's going to make the move on him. Jonathan Maynard, he's going to look low. He's going to try to take 2nd from Trey Grooms as they close in on that 54. Lap cars spoiling the party here for these race leaders side by side for a second. That 40's got to run. He's looking for the lead. Lozano's going to block, not for long. Here comes Jonathan Maynard to the inside. No help for that 40 right now, but Andrew Cahill's right behind him, trying to get up here and push. But Lozano's going to get that push from Trey Grooms to take back the race lead with 2 laps to go here in the Daytona 500. Lozano's going to have to block 2 lanes here. Nick Bingham now pushing that 40. Aaron Woods Jr., Devin Gardner, look, he's back up here in that 44. Maybe he can somehow have a shot at this. But they're side by side for second. That's allowing that 54 to pull away. They're going to have to get single file if they want a chance at Julian Lozano here. I don't think they're going to be able to just catch him being side by side like this, but they're coming out of turn 4. They're going to see the white flag this time by. 1 lap to go here in the Daytona 500. Julian Lozano is going to try to block 2 lanes here. Trey Grooms has a nice run to the outside. Couldn't quite make the move, but he is clear. Here he comes down to the inside. Side by side for the race lead. Trey Grooms trying to take it away from Julian Lozano. He might be clear here. Yes, he is. Trey Grooms moves up to the race lead. Now he's going to go up and block that 54. Jonathan Menard to the inside. He might have a run here. Help from Nick Bingham. Here comes that 40. Will he have a chance to win this thing? Here he comes underneath, side by side for the race lead. No help for that 40, but he prevails right now. Now Nick Bingham to his back bumper. Devin Gardner there as well. Side by side coming out of turn number 4. Trey Grooms in that 22. Jonathan Menard on the inside. Who's going to get across to the stripe? It's going to be the 22 of Trey Grooms winning the Daytona 500. What a race for this 22 of Trey Grooms. As it looked like we actually had a caution come out there towards the end, but they already completed the race. As the pace car was on the track. Looks like it's for that 64. So we'll see if it's actually that 22 taking the win. I don't know why the pace car came out there. We might have a little bit of controversy here. But I think he crossed the line, so I think he's going to be the winner of this race. I think they were just racing back to the yellow, so it should be official. That should be your top 10. So it should be that 22 of Trey Grooms winning this race. It looks like that your pole sitter might have had some sort of issue. That's what brought out the caution, but it looks like that caution came out with 2 to go, coming to the white, and so they had to race back. So it should be that 22 of Trey Grooms winning this race. I believe this is, let's see, this is career win number... If I can find his name here. Career win number 3 for that 22 for Trey Grooms. And this is probably the biggest win of his career. I think Lozano's still out there maybe thinking he's got the win. Because he was leading coming to the white. But I think Trey Grooms is going to take it. I think your top 10 there is official. We'll go back and try to look and see what happened to that 64. If he just had a problem. Looks like he just had a problem. And this was actually coming to the white flat. Yeah, we were already on the white flag. So I'm not really sure why the pace car came out, but yeah, your pole sitter blew up. So that's what happened to him, and I guess since he was stalling the racetrack, that just brought out the caution. And then they raced it back right here. And it was Trey Grooms picking up the win, getting that push, last lap push from Julian Lozano. Side by side with Menard, but it's Trey Grooms ultimately picking up the win here tonight. So we'll take a look at your results. Let me save it real quick before any crashes to the game. There we go. So taking a look at your results, your race winner here in the Daytona 500 is Trey Grooms. Finishing second, oh so close to winning it, but couldn't quite get it done, is Jonathan Menard. Julian Lozano, who had the lead on that white flag, got passed there in turn 3. He comes home third. Nick Bingham, all the way from the back up here to the front, finishes 4th. And rounding out your top 5 is your last season's champion of Andrew Cahill. Devin Gardner tried to get back up there towards the end. He finishes 6th. Aaron Woods Jr. 7th. Nick Scaccio 8th. Braden Sisko 9th. How about Wolfgang Suarez up here in the top 10? Anthony Foss 11th, Fox Oakland 12th, Justin Rott 13th, Justin Murray 14th, Daniel Sels 15th, Travis Van Oostendorf 16th, Caleb Kerr 17th, AJ Littums 18th, Branson Grooms 19th, and rounding out your top 20 is Carlos Quiros. 21st, Luna Bennington. 22nd, we saw blowing his motor there at the end, is Dylan Kutruff. 23rd, David Garcia. 24th, Mark Sherrill. 25th, Wilson Hunt. 26th, Scout Collins. 27th is Baker Mayfield. 28th is Jake Scarborough. 29th, Dylan Thomas. Rounding out your top 20 is Brandon Gonzalez. And then Evan Nelson there. 31st, Gabe Cazola. He was the first DNF. He had a tire issue. And then all of your wrecks back here. Donovan David, 33rd. 34th, Mike Pitt. 35th, Rich Roy. 36th, Andrew Francie. 37th, Jack Nelson. 38th, Matthew Covington. 39th, Simon Bingham. And 40th place is rookie Michael Scout. So there you go. So that's going to do it for us tonight. Congrats to Trey Grooms on picking up the win here in the Daytona 500. And yeah, thank you all so much for coming out here and watching this event. Should be a good season. Should be a good long 20 races plus the All-Star race, whenever that is. I think that's halfway through the season. Yeah, once again, thank you guys for coming out here and watching tonight's event. Congrats to Trey Grooms on winning the race tonight, and I'll see you guys next time.